What's up, Adam?
Wow.
A little E-flat minor.
Oh, okay.
In honor of Stevie Wonder. We're doing Innervisions today.
One of my favorites, all-timer.
Yeah, it's great. He's got a bunch of tunes in E-flat minor.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you had a favorite, something we could start out with.
Something from
Innervisions.
Innervisions in E-flat minor? Well,
Yeah.
of course, I love...
Yep. Very superstitious. Very much not on Innervision. That's Talking Book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you got others.
No, maybe I was thinking of this one. I Wish?
Yeah. That's great. Except it's not on Innervisions. That's Songs of the Key of Life. A couple years later, close.
It's not. Okay, but this one's definitely on Innervisions and definitely...
I feel like it might not be. Okay, go ahead.
No, trust me.
Okay.
Right?
Boo.
I just called to say I hate you? No?
No, boo. No. Look, let's do this. Y'all ready?
Yeah, this is good. I'm Adam Menace.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Music Explored.
Explored, brought to you today by Open Studio. Go to openstudiojazz.com for all your jazz lesson needs. Peter.
Yes.
I'm hesitant.
Don't say it. Is it a big day?
I really want to say it, but I won't say it.
I'll say it.
Okay.
Adam.
Yeah.
You know what today is?
It's a big day.
There you go. It really is a big day. Is this going to be our apex moment of this season?
This might be the apex moment of our lives, man.
Oh, we are diving back into Stevie Wonder, into the record Innervisions.
Yeah.
Which is, it's going to be really fun for us to explore where does this lie in terms of, obviously it's in the classic period. It's right in the middle of the classic period. But, spoiler alert, we both think this is a great record.
Yeah.
How great do we think it is? That's going to be the main thing we talk about.
I mean, it's pretty undeniably great. Maybe, Peter, take a couple beats and explain to the kind people out here what you mean by the classic period.
Okay, classic period. Yeah, and I want to make sure I refer to my notes here so I get this accurate. This is a little bit established, but it's certainly not arbitrary, but there's a little bit of bleed through on either end. So we don't want to be too dogmatic to say this is the period like Stevie created it and as this demarcation point in his recording and musical output. But I think that we can see as we look back and listen to these great records that these records are connected. We got 5 albums in 5 years. Music in My Mind and Talking Book, which we've covered here at the pod a couple months ago, those both came out in 1972. Then we have this record, Innervisions, which we're going over today, 1973. Huge record, won a Grammy for Album of the Year, of course. Then 1974, fulfilling this first finale. And then in 1976, a somewhat delayed record that he'd been working on for two and a half years, Songs of the Key of Life.
Well, and
kind of a magnus opus, I would say.
Yeah, and you could say, well, 74 and then 76, he missed a year, but Songs in the Key of Life is also a double album, right? So it's like you get two for that.
And it was delayed for a long time by, I think, Stevie tinkering with it. It was supposed to come out in 75.
Well, it was a masterpiece. So, But the sort of weakest one of these is maybe just fulfilling this first finale, which is really great. But I think it's just the title is so hard to say. Fulfilling this first finale.
Yeah, it is.
You spit a little bit when you say it.
Yeah.
But no, that's the one that's sort of like the least talked about.
Yeah.
But it's still really great.
It's the most introspective.
For sure.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about possibly why that is and where that one falls. But I mean...
There's some classic tunes on that one, too.
Yeah, and all these records, they're so connected in terms of Stevie's, and I think Innervisions more than any of them, this one-man band concept with him playing all the instruments. I think this is his most solitary record in terms of, there are a few other people, doing some backgrounds, a little bit of bass, some guitars, but there's a bunch of tracks where it's only Stevie playing every single instrument. And some of the ones I think folks are going to be surprised when they hear what those tracks are. So it's very much like I mean, this is like Stevie doing his thing. He's confident, great song. He wrote everything on here.
Yeah, some real reflective, socially conscious stuff on here, which wasn't a huge part of the first two of this string.
He dabbled just a little bit here and there.
And he goes further in it, I think, in especially songs in the key of life and fulfilling this first finale. but this is sort of like, especially
triple F.
Yeah. But, especially with like living for the city, Jesus, Children of America, things like that. Yeah. And even Too High. He's Mr. Know-It-All.
Yeah.
They have some political things behind them, and that's very...
And super varied on this record. Love, of course, spirituality, politics, and really balanced. Oh my God, this record sounds great from beginning to end. We always say that, but we only say that about great records.
Yeah, and then just banger after banger, too.
Banger after banger.
We did, last season, we did Talking Book, and which I still put in my humble opinion, which means absolutely nothing. I prefer Talking Book still to Innervisions after spending this week listening, preparing for this podcast.
Can I say they're equal? Is that acceptable?
You can say they're equal. And
I enjoy them both
equally,
I think.
When we did Talking Book, everybody said, because I believe we talked about, like, is this Stevie Wonder's greatest album kind of thing, Talking Book. But everybody was like, no, Innervisions is. We had so many people.
That was surprising a little bit.
A little bit, because you would think it would be like Songs in the Key of Life, which some people mention, but a lot of people mention Innervisions. So this is a lot of people's favorite Stevie Wonder. For me, I still think just front to back Talking Book is more consistent and just there's no skips on that one. And we can talk about this in Quibble Bits, but there might be one or two here that are like, would be amazing for any other artist, but I think is maybe not Stevie's best.
I'm willing to entertain it a little bit. Okay, so this came out on August 3rd, 1973. Adam Manis was, but not even a glint in anybody's eye at that point. I was
not
2
even
years
a thought,
old. I was 2 years old. So I don't remember this one in real time, but it's interesting because a lot of these compositions on here I've heard Stevie do live several times over the years. So it's a record that I've just listened to so much. As I said, it did win a Grammy for Album of the Year in 1974, which was a super competitive year.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later. In terms of there was so many great records being made. I know we always say that in the early 70s, but it really is true.
We mentioned this on the Paul Simon Still Crazy After All These Years episode that we did a couple of weeks ago, that Paul Simon lost out Here Goes Rhymin' Simon to Stevie Wonder on this, and got obsessed with Innervisions, and made Still Crazy After All These Years as he was listening to Innervisions over and over again. So there's like some interesting lore there between these two very different artists, but who were very much flourishing at this time. By the way, can we just talk a little bit too about the time?
Yeah.
I know we spend a lot of time in the early 70s on this podcast, but there is something magical about this run in music history. There's something like this, the combination of the technology at the time, where the way things sound, the advancement of like the sort of post-sexual revolution, the post-hippie revolution, the post-psychedelic music, post-Beatles.
Civil rights,
civil rights, like feminism, everything like kind of coming to a cultural point at least here in America. And artists are just like, as artists do, flourishing with this shit, like really taking off.
Right, speaking to the times.
Oh my gosh.
But also making timeless art. You know what? And you know what? Let's talk into it. I'm ready. I told you before we started, I'm ready to lean into.
But
I turned 55 the other day.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to lean into saying, like, I'm not apologizing for with pop music. Just really, this is not the only period talking about like 68 through 79 or 76, whatever we want to say, that great pop records were being made.
Absolutely not, There's streaks in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s that are...
But it's the best period.
Well, Peter's entering his Beato era.
Well, and I also think it's just like, to me, it's the top period, and I believe, for jazz influence and navigation of pop music.
Well, that makes total sense, because if we think about sort of the... people talk about the golden age of straight ahead jazz, at least, right? We're talking about the late 50s, early 60s. And so all of these artists in the early 70s were kids in the late 50s, early 60s, and now are old enough to start making music in their 20s here in the 70s, like Stevie, like Steely Dan, like those kinds of bands that we love and admire. Like Marvin Gaye, you know, who was obviously making music in the 60s, but was still very, very young, comes into his own.
Super influenced primarily by jazz singers, Nat King Cole, Ella Fitzgerald.
But you're absolutely right. Even someone like Michael Jackson, who was, started his career in the early 70s as a child. is starting to make jazz-influenced stuff by the late 70s.
Yeah, and so the early 70s may not have been the greatest period for straight-ahead jazz. A lot of folks would say, although I would contend that there was some great things happening, but they're more on the jazz, what would be considered jazz fusion side, perhaps. Talking about Return to Forever, CTI, Freddie Hubbard.
Oh, yeah. Headhunters, Weather Report. But let's not forget, too, there's also some swinging straight ahead stuff.
Yeah.
There's also
McCoy
some amazing artists from the late 50s, 60s, sort of height of the straight ahead era.
Yeah.
You know, Hank Jones made some of my favorite Hank Jones albums in the 70s.
Absolutely.
Solo piano.
And was perhaps in his prime, although he never really left his prime, apparently.
A bunch of people debuted in the 70s. Yeah. That's right. It was... You know what it was, man, in the 70s? It was just kind of a weird time technologically for acoustic instruments.
I thought you were going to say, you know what it was? The drugs were so darn good back then.
That too. But I think
technology had a huge impact.
And also there was a real rub between popular music and straight-ahead jazz in the 70s specifically that I think would take a little bit of a turn with the Young Lions era. And now we're in a whole crazy new era with all
And I think for pop music during this period, there's a through line that was already happening, like with real drums. And for folks who don't know what I'm talking about, it's exactly what you think it is. A drum set, a drummer playing the drums. And Stevie Wonder, by the way, is playing drums on every single track.
Yeah, like so you would go and you would prompt some kind of AI to say like make a drum sound like this, right? Stevie would,
yeah. Exactly. Well, but even before, like when we look at programmed drums, which may have started not this early, but like might have started in the 70s. Like later 70s, but like really that heyday to be a little bit rough with the figures and sloppy.
It'd be the late 70s, like the Kraftwerk kind of like programmed drums.
And look, Stevie's record, Hotter Than July, I think it was maybe some still, but I mean like Musicarium On, the original stuff, Part-Time Lover, all that. Like Stevie was very much into programmed drums as that became the sound
fairly early
of pop and certainly R&B, in the 80s. Because Stevie was always on the technological bleeding edge. But I think that affected the music in a way that in some ways like really kind of soulful pop music, if you want to call it that, like Michael Jackson, Steve, who just dominated obviously the 80s and stuff. That he was still holding on to a lot of real drums. So there was some program stuff, but the real drums were there. Once that got pulled out of the music, so now we're getting into like the 90s and stuff, or like the late 80s, I really think that had such an effect on the soul of the music that it wasn't until like it became, we were able to harness that technology, the drummers and the programmers and the producers. We talk about Dilla and the influence, Jay Dilla later on, like where now you're trying to humanize program drums, right?
Wabi Sabi, which we're going to get to later.
Good. All right, this record comes out on August 3rd, 1973. Let's check out a little bit of the first track and like what an innovation and a crazy place this record starts at.
Incredible opening.
Yeah.
I'm too high, but I ain't touch the sky. I'm too high, but I ain't touch the sky.
This break right here.
She's a girl in a dream.
What that?
She sees a 4-eyed cartoon monster on the TV screen. She takes another puff and says it's a crazy scene. That red is green. She's a tangerine. I'm too high.
Man, okay, so there's so much going on here. So what a great start to a record.
We've mentioned before, like sort of the genre of Stevie Wonder and how he's created several little subgenres. This might be the first like psychedelic-soul track that there ever was.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible.
And really a lot of jazz on. Like, so the way it starts here, like with that bass line.
It's not quite.
It's almost like a reverse swing pattern, though.
Oh yeah, for
like
sure.
It's got that swing feel, right?
You got like Parliament, Funkadelic, psychedelic funk or whatever, but this is really like no other music kind of like this.
Yep.
That has the jazz influence like it has.
Yep.
It's amazing. Even those background vocals.
I'm too high, but I ain't touch the sky.
And it's a real, like, this is all A minor here, but all these chords,
I'm too
it's just some really weird, complicated stuff floating on top.
but I ain't touch the sky.
And look, the lyrics is all about, this is about drugs. This is about, like, it's a really interesting story from beginning to end. I was, like, diving back in, like, it's got such a story arc to the way he puts it together, but the way that the music matches, the way the grooves, the way everything's a little bit off kilter until it gets to the end where it gets very off kilter, which I don't know. I'm a don't say no guy generally, but it's like that's very much about you're high, you're too high, all these kind of things.
Just, listen to Stevie, kids. Be careful out there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then check this out too. Like, this record starts with a huge pattern interrupter, which is kind of a weird thing because it's not like the rest of the record is not necessarily like this track. This is just the beginning of a story that's being told by this record.
Yeah.
But to start off this kind of potentially off kilter.
Well, think about how the previous album starts, right? Think about how Talking Book starts.
Yeah.
It starts with "You Are the Sunshine of My Life."
Yeah, it's like a warm
right?
hug, one of his biggest hits, one of the most welcoming cross-genre songs, right?
Absolutely. And I'm trying to think of, like, how does Talking Book ends with, if I'm not mistaken, hold on, I'm looking it up now. I'm trying to remember. It's the, I believe when I fall in love with you, I will be forever. It's like this big, like.
It's a build-up.
It's a build-up, this big pop ballad at the end.
Yeah.
And he's going to start this second, the subsequent record.
Yeah.
With this crazy psychedelic jazz, soul, weird, like, chords. It's really cool, actually. Really,
talking
really well
about
done.
too high. And I mean,
Pattern interrupter. The lyrics are crazy.
And the pattern, that's 1, 2, 3, and then it goes. These crazy triads, chromatic.
It's like some Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross shit. Yeah.
And then back. 1, 2. This time it was 3 last time. Now we're jumping. And then this is different. It's a little bit different. It's already off kilter than the first time.
I'm too high.
And this is whole tone.
Break it down a little bit for the folks. So what do you mean by whole tone and what are those chords?
Okay, so the stuff at the beginning, these triads, so he's taking something, a triad is like the most basic sonically
chord you can make.
Yeah, you're at home. It's like everybody knows this major triad, minor triad. So he's taking this triad and then he's moving them chromatically. So it has this very like, whoa, like roller coaster kind of a feel, but he's doing it with this kind of jazzy swing feel.
It's a syncopation.
And then sometimes he goes like, he goes up the second time, but it's very subtle the way he changes it. And in the day and age of today, everything would be like exactly the same, and you definitely wouldn't start something with 3 times. So before that, before he even gets to the triads, and then I'll show you the whole tone thing in a second. This is pretty like, you're grooving over minor.
Yeah.
So like that should feel pretty settled, right? So you got like, A minor. But the fact that he does it 3 times is weird because you would expect it to be 2 or 4 times.
That's right.
So he's already kind of setting things up. But that's minor. And then you got triads moving chromatically. And then you got the rhythm, the hi-hat. And then back here, and now it's just 2 times, it's 1 less. Same chromatic thing, but and then here comes the whole tone part.
I'm too high, I'm late to the sky.
And we touch the sky, so it's all over this E pedal. It's this dominant 7, 13 chord. It's just moving down at whole tones. So whole tones is this.
Again, another real spacey.
It's a druggy sound, right?
It's a druggy sound. Like if the chromatic thing is very like I'm falling through space, the whole tone is like the world is expanding a little bit. Yeah.
And look, Stevie's not the first one to use all these things, but to put them together like this at the beginning of an album.
Of a pop album.
That you think is going to be a hit record, which it turns out it is just genius. And I think what pulls, to me, on this whole record, like Stevie's singing, the writing is all great, but to me, his drumming is like the glue. And then we're going to talk about the bass playing too, because that's incredible.
I have a lot to talk about with the bass playing and the drumming, but I'm glad you're already mentioning this concept of like, things aren't very cookie cutter on this album, right? So like even just the fact that he's playing all these instruments, like on most of the album, he's playing every single instrument, including the bass and the drums, which is so rare for an album this big that someone who's not a professional studio bass player and drummer, I don't think people realize like how weird that is.
Right.
That it wouldn't be on this level like some real pros who come in and nail it and play the same thing, you know, like a clock,
right?
Which is what these incredible studio musicians can do so well. But that's what makes this album super special, is that like it's never the same thing twice. There's mistakes left and mistakes in many quotes. There's no such thing as mistakes, but it's not perfect.
Variations.
There's variations.
Yeah, it's not perfect. Absolutely.
Imperfections. And it's an incredible.
Higher ground. We're going to check that out. That bad boy speeds up quite a few clicks from beginning to end.
But nobody gives a shit because it sounds awesome. It feels incredible. And it's really like, it's really inspiring for me as a musician to be like, man, why do I obsess about trying to play things perfectly or make sure that everything is just, you know, this perfect thing? My favorite music, all of my favorite music has these imperfections and I'm baked into it because I get to hear the human that is Stevie, and you feel taken care of that actually someone is okay with their own imperfections in their art. It makes the art incredible. You know?
Well, it's almost like, you know, we talk about, and I want to get into this, I know it's controversial, is this a perfect album? We're always, you know, flirting with that concept, but if
you're always flirting with that concept, I don't believe
there's maybe, I'm going to put that out there.
I don't think there's such a thing.
But I mean, if nothing else, like say for this track,
and this definitely isn't, by the way.
Well, but if we say this track, is this a perfect track? What you were just talking about, I think it's a matter of like, well, if you're saying that there's imperfections and it's not perfect, then how? Like when you take a willingness for it not to be cookie cutter, for it not to be perfect, and you combine that with a confidence and a concept and then extreme crafting of how the thing's put together, I think that can get it to a perfect track and possibly even to a perfect album. In fact, I think if you try to make if everything comes out perfect, then the sum of the parts isn't perfect.
I don't think I'm ever going to get here with you, just because it's a larger philosophical conversation about this perfect.
Well, let's just say great. How about that?
Great is fine.
Yeah.
Is this a great album?
It's
yeah,
like,
of course. This is one of the greatest albums.
Yeah, but how do you make something great? It has to have that humanity. Yes. And I think it's that willingness for there to be imperfections combined with a confidence of delivery and a high level of like craftsmanship and execution.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So you were talking about Steve. We're going to talk about his drumming, of course, but the bass player, and you were saying, and I know some people are like, wait, he played bass? I mean, I'm sure he probably did, but he's playing a Moog bass, which you're a very good, and you can even demonstrate some stuff if you want to hear, but like you're really good at the Moog bass.
This isn't a Moog.
That's true. Well, so I'm going to play some isolated on this.
No, we did some on our Herbie Hancock Maiden Voyage show. We did our intros and outros on.
Don't compare that to this.
No, we did some intros and outros on the Moog bass that we have here in the studio and the Yamaha Reface. It's one of my favorite bass sounds, and I love bass players. You know, there's my best friends are bass players. Some great bass players play Moog bass at the same, you know. Yeah, but I think there's something really special about it. Yeah. Especially like the mono synth bass is one of my favorite ever bass sounds. Yeah. So we're going to play a little, and then I want you to explain to folks what that is. This is Stevie just playing the Moog bass. Moog? Oops. Going down low is. But you hear how it's a little different each time. Yeah. But it's in the pocket, damn. Even without the drums. Woo. So the synth bass is really interesting. So, you know, at the time, all of these synths are monophonic, at least the ones that he's using for the bass, they've got it set, which means that you can only play one note at a time, which means that if you strike, like if you're hitting a note and you hit another note, it like cuts the previous note off. You can't like make a chord. And what happens if you play a triad? Yeah, just one note happens. So when you hear like, anytime that he does, you hear this a lot on this album. So he'll be like, he'll hold the note low.
Yeah.
And then hit it up high, and there's glide that can happen on this
portamento.
Portamento. So you hear these like funky things that can happen.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he'll do like a very specific thing, like a
glissando.
Yeah. Because of, again, the monophonic, and then even a run can sound super, super clean in this style. So this is just like a really simple one. This is not as nice as what Stevie's working with here, but you can
spend a lot of
it.
times on the sound, like.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how he's getting those like really incredible, funky like riffs that are between the root note of things. You gotta spin this the other way. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump to maybe a part where he's getting into some of that, just looking at the waveform. This is just the bass.
Yeah, you can hear in the attack of things. Like he's slurring things, essentially. All that stuff, man, so good.
And when you add in the drums. Oh, he's
so funky. And he's got, the envelope filter on there that's making it sort of sound like a wah, kind of blat. Woo!
Man, and this is super melodic playing, right?
Yeah, but he's like one of the greatest bass players of all time. I should stop talking.
Look at that. This is that part where it's like.
They said she's too high, too high.
Yeah, so much great stuff on here. So that's bass, then he's playing the drums.
Did a friend say
the cymbal stuff?
Oh, come on.
Fills. Keyboards.
Again, and that drumming, not nearly as perfect as what a high-level studio drummer would do. But so funky.
And I think that I know on some of the ones on Talking Book for sure, like he would lay down the drums first. So that's kind of crazy if you think about
just with the tune, the form in his head.
Yeah. So like he's when you're tracking, it's like you're playing all the instruments. Obviously, he has to do them one at a time. So he's having to kind of like sing along and think about all these different sections. Now he wrote it, so I guess it's like that's not hard for him. But it starts out. I don't know. That's pretty good studio drumming, actually. And then he's got to think about that. That's like 3 times, versus 2 times. With the bass. And then the keyboard stuff. I got to get all of this in. That's Fender Rhodes. I don't know. Yeah, so then we go. Obviously, the vocals is what everyone pays attention.
She takes another puff and says it's a crazy scene.
And this kind of
that red is green.
This
she's a tangerine.
Reverb. What do you call that? Phaser?
I'm too high, but it left the ground.
A slight phaser. Yeah, there's something on there.
So that's that whole tone we're talking about. Man, singing that in so well in tune is super hard.
I'm too high. Yeah.
So it kind of all ends up on this like minor bluesy kind of a thing, but because of it's a very unusual way to get there.
Too high, I hope I never ever come down.
But this is something, so the production on this album, Stevie Wonder, Malcolm Cecil and Robert Margouleff, who worked on the first 4 records of the classic period. They worked really closely together at the Record Plant and Media Sound in New York. They were really, not only with the synthesizer, with the Moog, the Moog. I sing it both ways. You know what? I'm just going to split the difference because I can never remember the correct way. Moog, Moog. We don't know. Don't look at me blankly, sir.
No, I forgot which way I say it.
But with that, and then the Tanto, which we're going to get into, we haven't heard that yet, the incredible multi-timbral, thing that Cecil and Margouleff had developed. that Stevie really brought to life during these sessions. So just to say that, like, there was a lot that went into the production of this. So when you hear stuff like this,
was a superficial paradise,
and the way it's bouncing around,
she had a chance to make it big more than once,
as opposed
or twice.
to just, you know, flat, like that has a big part. Like when you start adding in
but no dice,
the other
she wasn't
stuff,
very nice.
it sounds weird when it's on its own. And then goes to that great segue section. So that's a good first track.
I believe it is. I believe now I remember. I believe it is Moog because
Moog.
I believe
How are we gonna remember that?
Bob Moog.
Bob
That's
Moog.
the way he's, you know, the guy who invented it.
I know.
Pronounces
I
his
should
own
know. I gotta
name.
ask my dad. My dad knew Bob a little bit at the University of Pennsylvania back in they were in music school around the same time.
But I would say in anybody's defense who says Moog, it's literally like phonetically two O's right next to each other. It's
Exactly.
hard not to see it and say anything but Moog.
So at the end of this, we're going to come back to that later in our categories. Cool. At the end of the track, so there's some fun stuff.
What other tracks you got lined up for us?
Well,
here?
I got Visions. Sue me, I love Visions.
Title track.
Title track, right. And before we get into it, I just want us to hear, it's always fun to hear the artists talking about this. The lyrics on this album, I think, are as good as it gets for Stevie.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot because, like, he was a real lyricist. He wrote the lyrics for almost all of his songs, for many of them. And, you know, I think on this record, he really had stuff dialed in such a varied way. And there's such a part of the story. They're, in a lot of ways, the easiest part for the listener. You know, we're talking about whole tones. None of that actually really matters, hearing the words, but how that relates to the music and the production and how Stevie played the stuff and presented it. But we have this wonderful little thing. We can just listen to a little bit of it, of Stevie just talking about and reciting actually some of the lyrics to Visions before we listen to it.
You know, lately he's been getting into writing very heavily. I just did a thing that's going to be on the album, which will probably be the title tune. The album is going to be called Innervisions, and the song is Visions. And one of the lines of the song is, people hand in hand, have I lived to see a milk and honey land, where hate's a dream and love forever stands, or is this a vision in my mind? It says the law was never passed, but somehow all men feel they're truly free at last. Have we really gone this far through space and time? Or is this a vision in my mind? It says, I'm not one who makes believe.
So you really get a feel for, you know, Stevie interacting and reciting this as poetry, really, you know, as just the lyrics.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful, even on its own, separate from the music. But I think it's so insightful, you know, and then as we go in and listen to it, this beautiful intro with the music, you know, kind of where he's coming from.
And this is Malcolm Cecil on the bass.
Malcolm Cecil, yeah, one of the producers and engineers on here playing. He was originally a jazz bass player. So it's two guitars.
Not Stevie.
No, this is the only time on the record, really, except for some background vocals, that it's not Stevie. Dean Parks and David Walker on guitars.
People hand in hand, have I lived to see the milk and honey land, where hate's a dream and love forever stands, or is this a vision in my mind? The law was never passed.
Second verse.
Somehow all men feel they're truly free at last. Have we really?
So it's amazing to me, like,
space and time, or is this a vision in my mind?
Here is
not one who make believes.
Classic Stevie.
I know that leaves are green. They only turn to brown when autumn comes around, I know just what I say. Today's not yesterday, and all things have an ending. But what I'd like
Yeah,
to
so this
know
composition is written in the, oh look, we could sit here and listen all day, right? Until the big wigs from Universal come after us. But the idea of like, this song is written in the traditional AABA, Great American Songbook kind of a form. You know, that's why I said when we go to the bridge, and it's such a story, it's such a journey. And you know, Stevie, I think, you know, he's known for his incredible intonation, which is just singing in tune, but doing it while singing a lot of really challenging things, obviously without auto-tune, without like a lot of overdubs and all these kind of things. But also I think his diction, like the clarity of the words, not only the ideas, but the delivery of it is pretty stunning.
Yeah, we talked about this on Talking Book about how he sometimes gets overlooked, I think especially from the music nerd side of things, like people like us, for what an incredible vocalist he is, just on that front. If he didn't write anything, if he didn't play anything, if he was just a singer singing someone else's songs, he would still be one of the GOATs. Like he's still so incredible on that instrument. And then you mix in this, I mean, this is the second song on the album, right? This is the title track. And listen to all of the harmonic textures that we've already had. Like all of these things that you would never see on anyone else's album, especially someone who's making like the highest level Grammy Award winning, Billboard top 10, like all of this stuff. Like you're not hearing this on anybody. You're hearing like 1, 4, 5 ones, like chord progressions. These chords that Stevie Wonder is, you know, and frankly, like a little bit more sophisticated than even the jazz stuff.
I know.
That's happening around this time too. It's really something. Like, I mean, it's like you could, if you turn this into a Herbie Hancock album, it wouldn't be out of the question. Like it wouldn't seem weird, you know?
Well, this track, so Headhunters came out in 73 too, I believe. And like this track is more jazz than anything on Headhunt. Well, I can't say that. It's Herbie Hancock. And he's
but
you know what I'm saying? Like, but just the composition.
It's a cousin. It's a first cousin of that.
Yeah. And the fact that, I mean, what a great time when you could have something like this. This is a second track. And like young folks maybe don't realize because it's all about like individual tracks, but like it mattered what you started the record with and what came next. Like that could make or break things. So like this was a lot of cojones.
In the era of the album, which is, this is sort of the golden era of the album, of the LP.
Oh, say that again. I love that.
This is the golden era of the album.
Right?
It really is. Like, it's so, you're absolutely right. Track order and what starts aside really, really matters.
But I mean, this is like so introspective. This is very fulfilling, this first finale material. This is so introspective. It's so, like the lyrics are a little bit cryptic, but he's delivering them very clearly. It's very, like as you say, harmonically, it's very challenging, beautiful. I think the melody on this is what really holds it together in a lot of Stevie's stuff, like where you can make it this very satisfying thing, even if you're kind of like, what the heck's going on? The melodic movement of it, the harmonic movement's very satisfying, but pretty complex, long song form. Just incredible stuff.
Absolutely.
So that takes us to track number 3. This is probably the most, you know, recognized, beloved. This was the second hit.
It's certainly his most socially conscious of the hits specifically.
And this is a
boy's born
so undeniably.
And that's just bass drum.
Surrounded by for world that ain't so pretty.
No other drums.
His parents give him love and affection.
Storytelling.
To keep him strong, moving in the
Blues
right
too.
direction. Living
4.
just enough for the city. His father works some days for 14 hours, and you can bet.
Is that grooving?
He barely makes $1.
That again, the synth bass.
Oh, so good.
Scrub the floors for many, and you best believe she hardly gets a penny. Living just enough for the city.
There's Tonto. Man, Stevie's use of like space in between. I was about to pull it down. You don't want me to.
Don't make it stop.
Second verse.
To walk to school, she's got to get up early. Her clothes are old, but never are they dirty. Living just enough for the city.
Oh, drum fill, every one, its own masterpiece. Oh.
Her brother smart.
Little counter melody on the tanto. I think it's on that.
But soon it won't have it to find a job.
All right, okay, we're gonna break this thing down.
But the lyrics too are so. This might be his like best lyrical song ever. Just he's so subtle. It's not.
Yeah.
It's an incredible story, obviously, like with a social message, but. He's like painting pretty rich characters.
Yes.
You know, like the lyrics
verse
itself,
by verse.
like her brother's smart, he's got more sense than many, his patience long, but soon he won't have any. Like those two lines tell a story of like this kid's life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
I was gonna say the lines right after that are some of my favorites too. Right after what you just said, to find a job is like a haystack needle.
Yeah.
Which is so great. Like we talk about imperfection. It's supposed to be needle in the haystack.
Right.
But like, it's such a different way of saying it. To find a job is like a haystack needle, because where he lives, they don't use colored people. Living just, and by the time you're starting from A Boy Is Born in Hard Time, Mississippi, like the music has started to move up. There's this blues sensibility. And when we talk about the blues, so we got, he's moving between these sounds. It's G flat, right? And that's major and that's minor, and it's both of them. So you've got that major and minor happening at the same time, and that permeates this whole thing, except for like some of the little segue sections, which are kind of like, the too high stuff coming back in. And then you got the lyrics on top of it, and that's before we even get to the whole skit in the middle.
even the hook of the lyrics, like living just enough for the city, tells a story of like this. Yeah, it's really, really smart. These lyrics are very, very smart, which, sometimes I think Stevie doesn't reach this peak of his lyrics. Like I love
I just called
all
this
of this.
to say I love you.
Don't knock I Just Called This Album. That's a
He
masterpiece.
says that's his greatest song.
He might be right. That's one of my favorites. But this is like such a high level.
Yeah, it's storytelling. It's political.
Yeah.
But it's like writing the greatest op-ed in the New York Times, but you're putting it to music, and it actually tells even more without being like direct.
The skit in the middle, which is heartbreaking, and also this is 1973. It's just
it paints the picture. Even if you haven't been there, like what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's a journey, because that the whole thing of A Boy Is Born in Hard Time, like that sets you up for one thing, but then going from that to New York City to the jail cell, everything. But on the musical side, like the beginning of this, like to me, the other great thing about this song should have been first on the record. Actually, no, I don't think so. But I'm saying most people would say that.
Most people would put this
because of how it
first,
starts.
It feels good.
Yeah. So we've got.
You mean it's not a series of chromatic and whole tone?
Yeah,
dominant chords?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like this is introductory, right? And he comes in vocally pretty soon in the beginning. On Too High.
A boy's born in Hard Time, Mississippi.
Like this would be the beginning of telling the whole story, but I love where it's placed on the record third after Visions, because like now you've got to this. This is really like the Magnus Opus of. I like that term. I don't even know what it means. I read it.
Magnum Opus.
It's not Magnus. Isn't Magnus even
Magnus
bigger?
Opus is a chess player.
That's what I mean. This is like he's the Magnus Opus of soul music.
All right.
Okay, so when we talk about, I know you love the bass, the Moog, and we've got some fun stuff already at the beginning here. This is just the bass. And some kick drum too. A little feathering maybe? Oh, there it comes in. Okay, so that's interesting. It doesn't come in at the beginning.
It's just the attack.
Yeah. Man, that's like the perfect Moog bass sound. Moog. Here comes the bass drum. Our separator might be messing it up a little bit, but you feel it, right? It's like, it's the heartbeat, right? And then you got...
His parents give
he's already in.
him love and affection to keep him strong, moving in the right direction, living just enough for the city.
Okay. I can't tell you like how thrilling every one of his drum fills. Are we gonna break these? We're gonna make a podcast
really
just
good.
about Stevie, because it's like it's this combination of like expected and like wah, and like grooving and sloppy and perfect and imperfect. I don't know how he does this, you know. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was one take that he did this, and that he had to lay all this down with just the drums, where he's imagining the other things that he's gonna do. He's not like riding off the energy of the bass or whatever. It's all in his imagination.
For the city.
But he's going from just this.
His father works
It's just
some
instant
days
groove.
for 14 hours, and you can bet he barely makes $1. His mother goes to scrub the floors for me, and you
added
best
the roads.
believe she hardly gets a penny.
And then again, just all the little vocal details that are happening in there. Every phrase has some unique turn to it. Every 10th word has some kind of expression put on it.
Yeah.
That is telling the story without even having to understand what the lyrics mean. You get it. Like,
Man, he just did exactly, check this out, exactly what you're talking about. Check the way he ends this phrase.
For the city.
I mean, like it's so beautifully in the moment. He's letting things happen. He's letting the music come to him. He's letting the spirit flow through whatever it is you want to put on that. I mean, it's so seamless in everything he does, from literally the ground up, right? The kick drum and the bass, all the way up to the soaring vocals.
It's the rooter
all
to the
him.
tutor.
Yeah, I mean.
The outhouse to the top floor. I mean, he's just covering it like and he's got it all like sort of mapped out what's needed.
Yeah.
And then these background vocals are Stevie, I believe, for the segue.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, here's another great fill coming up. Oh! Why do I love those so much?
So good, man.
Oh, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. All these little stuff that, like, I don't think studio musicians would necessarily do without direction from Stevie. And it's just him doing it. It's just him playing.
Man,
and being
Stevie's
playful.
Are so I know on proper authority, this is no secret. His drumming was very influenced in this period from Zigaboo Molest.
From the Meters.
Yeah. Stevie was going down to New Orleans and met them by this point and was definitely checking out his style. You can hear it.
To find a job is like a haystack needle.
Like a haystack needle. What the hell is a haystack needle?
They don't use colored people. Living just enough.
Amazing.
Just enough for the city.
Yeah, so the whole
Incredible.
thing is just, great.
Incredible.
I mean, this song's been broken down and been loved a lot. And then it gets to the skit. Do we want to, I mean, let's kind of move on. Like, you can go in and check that out. One thing interesting about this, played on the radio, they used to always cut that off.
Cut the skit out?
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I mean, that was just like, I think the single maybe didn't have it. I'm not sure.
Maybe that was it.
But you got all these great sections where you're just kind of sitting in the blues. Hold on. We got to explore that here. So we're talking about...
Just enough for the city, for the city.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge advantage Stevie has.
Oh, you mean to be like, there's 6 of me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What is it from the Social Network? I'm 6'3", 250 pounds, and there's 2
There's
of me.
2 of me. It's like, Stevie's like,
I'm a genius vocalist, an incredible harmonist, and there's 6 of me.
and I can back myself up.
Just enough. Ain't nothing but city. Just enough.
It's not even in my range, that note. Amazing.
Okay, so this is a great Skit, super deep and meaningful, like very unusual to be put on a record, I think, during this time or at any time to have so much space in the middle. Well, we're going to check out just a little bit how we get into that. With the sound of the city. I think that's his brother. He's one of the characters, the voices, and Stevie as well.
New York, just like I pictured it.
I say that every time I get out of the subway.
And everything.
Skyscrapers and everything. That's a classic. But then jumping back, of course, they come back in, and I love the way this ends. It kind of reminds me, well, we talked about it on a record last season. I believe it was D'Angelo's Untitled. It kind of ends really big. Take it from this. And then it goes right into, I got to switch over the thing here. But it's a great segue. Yeah, there we go.
The Golden Lady. Yeah, incredible.
Man, that was very what's going on-ish.
Yeah, this is Motown flavor right here. Yeah. Peter,
and they go, these tracks on the LP, they go straight into each other.
Golden Lady's incredible.
Yeah.
Harmonically rich as well. Peter, let's get into some Desert Island tracks. So your Desert Island track, I believe, is maybe everybody's Desert Island track on this album.
Yeah.
Certainly what people think of when they think of, like one of the probably top 5 tracks they think of when they think of Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, Higher Ground. And I mean, essentially, I thought you were going to say Living for the City. Like, I always feel like that's the one that people think about with this record. But
I think Higher Ground and Don't You Worry About a Thing, which is my Desert Island track. I think those are the two that have like, especially in popular culture, have like seeped through enough where it's like, Higher Ground was covered by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Don't You Worry About a Thing was on like Sing 2 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Okay, so let's check out a little bit of Higher Ground.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
This is one of the greatest shuffles.
It's not quite as good as the Fleetwood Mac shuffle.
I mean, that one was okay. Man, the fills on this again.
People, keep on learning. Soldiers,
and the shuffle is.
keep on.
We talked about this instrument on the Talking Book, right? On Maybe Your Baby and Superstition, but this is the clavinet, right? Which is like a stringed instrument. It's like a somewhat of a cousin to like a harpsichord,
right?
And then he's got this wah pedal effect on it, this auto wah effect on it.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
This
you
little
want me to go back
envelope filter, and it sounds like it could be a guitar or a synthesizer, but it's actually like a little eraser head hitting a string on each key.
Yeah, this is just the
hitting
clavs.
down on a string.
I think it's 2 on here, right? Yeah,
at least.
Yeah.
But Stevie Wonder mastered the clavinet.
Yeah. It's got that percussive. It's. I mean, a lot of people think it's guitar. So, and then again, like it's hard to like understate the amount of blues playing on this record, and it being, which is such a shocking thing for being such a popular record. It's not shocking. It's just, I don't think people will be like, it sounds jazz. And there's definitely obvious jazz influences, but I think in terms of like the foundation.
The blues is all over
the blues,
his music.
like, yeah. So what we've got here, E flat minor, and by blues, it's this sound.
Well, I mean, even just the groove itself, right? So this like Chicago shuffle, like,
and the shuffle, exactly.
And then the dum.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean this?
Like,
oh, we're not there yet. There.
Yeah.
And this is a different sound on the Moog Moog. But it's that same, like you get the portamental thing.
Yeah. Again, because you can only play one note at a time, so it cuts it off.
So this is already grooving, right?
I would say so.
What about that? The hump. You got the tambourine going on 2 and 4. Up to the 2, 4, and then Stevie. Down to the dominant 7. That's all Stevie. So when we talk about like, and then getting to the 4, and then down to the dominant 7th, and then back to the 1. Ooh.
I mean, seriously, you put Buddy Guy over this? You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, he's varying up the hi-hat too. Man, I think having a through play drum track, that's underrated. I mean, I know in jazz we do it all the time, but in pop music, because you have a chance to do something different every time.
It's really good. It's really, really good.
To the 4, so it's that same kind of harmonic underpinning. And then there, it's such a cool. So it's minor pentatonic, but it always has that blues thing in it too.
Yeah. So my Desert Island track,
Yes, sir,
is "Don't You Worry About a Thing."
Ever heard of it?
Yeah, I think it's. First of all, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
This little like trying to pick up this girl with his fake Spanish accent.
There's a lot of confidence in it, though.
Well, you have to when you're faking the language.
Mama, you
Here's Mama.
Well, like, I don't understand how you can, because, like,
Stevie playing everything on here.
Paris, Beirut, you know, I'm in Iraq, Iran, Eurasia, you know, I speak very fluent Spanish. Todo está bien chévere. Chévere.
This is sort of like, again, like a
I got my shaking
implied sort of fake Montego happening.
Right. Oh, the way he jumps on that melody.
Okay, so keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep going. I got you.
Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing.
Okay, can we harmony nerd out for just a second here?
Please, I've been waiting to.
So the changes here on this. So there's
Tell them what changes are.
So the chord,
it's the harmony,
the
right?
chord changes, the harmony. So what is so amazing about this is what he's like 23 here too, 22 or something.
Yeah,
like it's so sophisticated. Like this is something that Barry.
This is his 16th record, though.
Yeah, it's true. But this is like a concept that another Detroit pianist, Barry Harris, might teach, right?
Yeah.
The things that are the little details harmonically that are happening here, which makes Stevie Wonder so sophisticated, right? So you have this E flat minor to this like, you know, B flat 7, sharp 5, whatever it is. And then the E flat 7.
Then the 4.
Now this is the Stevie Wonder change here, like down a whole step, 2 5 to B. But then there's this chord here.
Yeah.
Right? So this is in like an E7. It's a half step above where we started.
Yeah.
Right? So that happens the first time. So the first time you hear. The second time it does it again. It goes back to the tonic.
Oh, I like that. That was good.
To the E7 again. Now this time it's functioning as a back door.
Stevie loves the back door 2-5.
It's a back door 2. So the first time it was like a tritone sub to E flat. Now it's a back door to G flat, which is all in this. This is very technical, but the Barry Harris family.
Yeah.
The things that like nerdy jazzies just like geek out about. This is a pop hit. This is again on Sing 2 soundtrack or whatever.
Started out with a bunch of random Spanish-esque stuff. You know, it's like.
Right. But instead of like a regular, also just another nerdy thing, instead of like a regular back door where it would be like B minor E7.
Yeah.
It's B major 7.
Yeah.
This bright sound. And then he does it again here. Don't you worry about it.
Mama. So
then, this is another 2-5, but it's a 2 major 7.
Oh.
right?
Oh.
It's like, so he goes down to this A flat major. Like the little Easter eggs for like music nerds are all over the place in that. But especially,
and by music nerds, we mean every human on the planet. At least for hearing it.
I mean, the thing is too is if you don't know anything about music, you just love, like, the voice leading is so crisp. It just sounds incredible. But if you are into some of these little dots and loops of the details of how these things are made, it's really sophisticated and almost old fashioned. Like it's something,
an inner logic to it that like goes back hundreds of years in a number of different cultures.
100%. Like, I mean, this is not like he's inventing music language. It's just so rare that someone can nail it on a pop album this effortlessly.
Yeah.
And he does it like so perfectly and beautifully.
And this was the second to last track on the second side, but this was the third single. Like, this was not just some like hidden jazz track.
It's a huge hit.
This is not like Contusion on the Songs of the Key of Life where it's like all instrumental.
It's almost like, I mean, sometimes Stevie can pull out these like sophisticated harmony things where you're like, are you like channeling Gershwin too or something all of a sudden? Like he has like the knowledge of all music somehow at his hands, at his pen, and it comes out in these really interesting ways. I mean, now we're just coming off of Higher Ground, which has this incredible like authentic shuffle feel, right? Like to this, which is like tongue in cheek and funny.
Well, there was a couple tunes in between.
But I'm saying what we're talking about. But like, I don't know. To me, this is what makes this album and all of Stevie Wonder's work incredible to listen to and just rewarding again and again and again, listen after listen, decade after decade, is because there's, I just realized this week with this tune. I just was like, man, that's incredible. Like the little things he's saying in there with these little chords and these little melodies that he puts in, not to mention the textures, the lyrics, the inflections, really, really special.
It's great. And the way you describe it is great. And I always like to think about it when it's like harmony is such a emotional trigger for humans. And so like as songwriters, we're supposed to put that together, obviously, with the lyrics, with the melody, with the groove. And so like Stevie's doing all this and actually playing all this and crafting it. But I think the harmony is kind of like, especially on tunes like this, is the thing that makes it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always like, it's always like a little bit of different competing different facets and knowing when to push the harmony level up and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really like, like what you're talking about is the harmonic underpinnings, the structure, the architecture of what the tune is. And I think it is, it's just like if you see the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, like anybody can look at that and be like, you've seen pictures of it, but if you actually go see it and if you run across it or walk across it, you're like, wow. And like you can just sort of bask in the glory of that.
Yeah.
But an engineer is going to be like measuring, being like, oh my gosh, the distance between the span is 2 to 3 and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, with both like Higher Ground, Don't You Worry About a Thing. It's like, I was listening to this in the car, like, Heather McCorkle, my wife, loved this song, has no idea what any of the harmony means, doesn't care.
No.
But
she cares about how it feels.
But this is what separates, I think, like good artists from legendary artists, right? Is this level of detail. There's so much love in every chord and every bar and every voice lead. And then
there's nothing's thrown away.
There's nothing that's thrown away. There's nothing spare. There's no fat to it. It's just this like
that's
beautiful.
Why we call it a perfect album.
Yeah, well, it's not that. But what about your apex moment, Peter? What do you got?
Oh, by the way, before we get to that, I wanted to, because I got this pulled up. You mentioned another version of this.
Oh boy, taking me back to 8th grade.
Higher Ground.
I used to think this was amazing.
This is a cover of Higher Ground that was been an entry point for a lot of folks to Stevie, actually.
I prefer their cover of Love Roller Coaster, if I'm being honest.
Right. Red Hot Chili Peppers. But I mean, they're kind of like, this is not an easy tune to cover.
This was
and they're not achieving what Stevie did.
I think when I was in 8th grade, this was my introduction to like Stevie Wonder. It's like, wait, is Stevie Wonder cool? Because he was just a guy making pop music when I grew up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, my dad was like, heard this and said, you should probably check out the original.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's way better.
Yeah. No, that's good.
But actually that's not bad.
Yeah.
The
I mean, they made
version?
it their own. Like, they found something that probably the one Stevie tune that could kind of work for their authentic sound somewhat, so it's cool. Okay, so Desert Island Tracks for me is, we did that already, right? Higher Ground, we did this. Okay, let's go to Apex Moments. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is Too High, which we listened to the first track, of course, all this great stuff. I kind of want to jump ahead a little bit towards the end. We're kind of moving along. The breakdown of this.
It's already in a great place.
Yeah.
The bass.
They're going crazy. It's like built up, right? And then we got this final statement of
They said she's too high, too high. We can't hear
the way it falls apart. It's so like.
And then when it comes back.
Oh. Goes up to the 4
It's
chord.
the first time it's ever gone to that.
It's the
chord.
first
Yeah.
time it's ever gone.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh
That's
man.
crazy.
To me, that's the apex. Like, and you're so rewarded if you listen to this whole tune once you get there.
Yeah.
The way it ends after that is really cool too. It's kind of weird. The whole thing is weird, man.
So
Weird and
I
beautiful.
love that. It's a great apex moment. My apex moment is, it's about, if you can keep a minute and 39 into Don't You Worry About a Thing. So he spends the first 2 minutes of this
Yeah.
song vocally in a fairly like low mid range in his
Yeah.
voice. And the first time he takes it up
Yeah.
is so magical. Like it just grabs your attention and you're like, oh, this is a banger.
Yeah.
So he's got this chromatic thing,
Ooh, that high.
which in and of itself is
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
But then right here,
Don't you worry about a thing.
you know what I mean?
Oh.
Don't you worry
Do it again.
about a thing.
And for the rest now, we're up.
Yeah.
We're hanging.
Double
This
vocal.
thing, little canon that he
Man,
introduced.
he's right at the top of his range too.
You can hear it. The top of Stevie's range is amazing. It sounds so beautiful.
But you hear him on that. Like he's kind of sliding into that in a very blues.
Worry about a thing.
Back into the chorus.
Don't you worry about a thing.
Stevie's playing all that. Every dang instrument on this
I'll
sucker.
be standing in the side.
Oh.
2-5 with the major 7. The little chromatic sus dominant thing.
When you get old,
Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
you trip.
Verse. Now we're up though.
He's singing differently here though. It's not doubled.
The end of this verse too, when he does the harmony.
Yeah. Oh, that wasn't fair.
Keep
man.
going, keep going.
Yeah, you have like 30 moments.
Don't you worry about a thing.
Oh, he goes up even more here.
Don't you worry about a thing, pretty mama.
Oh, it's unbelievable. The vocal performance is. Yeah, the vocal performance, we can listen to the whole
Yeah.
track. The vocal performance is off the charts good. Peter, what's your bespoke playlist for this? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to go really basic because I know you got something cool, so I'm going to hook you up. This is Stevie's Classic Run. You know, like that playlist of those 5 albums in those 5 years is I mean, that's a deep playlist. Like that, it's a world of music.
It's timeless.
It's timeless.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a whole music education in there. There's a whole like kind of political, like telling you about the times, the trajectory of those 5 years. And I was going to say you could do worse. I don't think you could do better in terms like of a one artist playlist specific to a certain period. I don't think there's any, I mean, you could talk about like Beethoven or Miles Davis. You
I
could
don't know
talk
if
about-
anybody's had a run like this though.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Yeah.
up there. There's nobody above it, in my opinion.
I have, for my bespoke playlist, I have Wabi Sabi Wiggle. Now listen.
Wait, is that based upon the dance that I was doing the other day at the
it
club
is a
when I
little
met
bit.
you?
So the Wabi Sabi is a classical Japanese concept for
Yeah.
art where you leave in the imperfections. And the wiggle is just because this makes me want to wiggle for sure, the whole album. But this is what I'm saying, man, is like for me, what's so touching listening to this for the 1,000,000th time this week in preparation for this episode is just all of the tiny imperfections, the fact that he doesn't do the same thing, more than 2 times in a row, that he's always changing up. He's playful through the whole thing on every single instrument because it's him. And the fact that he leaves in this, concept even of just of being true to what he wants to do in the moment and letting the song play itself out without trying to, again, studio musician out. Not that there's anything wrong with the studio musician vibe in that has its place, but something really magical when a genius gets to just do his thing for everything. It's really, really awesome.
Yeah, and I think that's a great title. I think what you just said about, never doing something the same, like when the verse comes around or when the chorus or whatever, like the connective tissue that he had, like he's not just changing it up and then it becomes like random or hard to follow. It's like, what is he changing? So he's playing like these great fills, like on Living for the City, at the same place in terms of like every 8 bars or sometimes every 16, but he's changing up how he's doing it. He's still grooving into the one.
Yeah.
So it's like he has this great ability to, as you say, you know, to change it up, but it's never a lack of cohesion. Quite the opposite. It's like very, very, I mean, on that whole vocal section, it goes on for another minute after that on Don't You Worry About a Thing, where he's still like changing things up, but the essence, because of the harmony and the groove and everything that he has, holds it together and gives him that freedom to be confident and to soar up high and say, I don't know, hit it, I'm going to go hit it again.
It's such a contrast to, not to, again, pop a Beato out here, but it's such a contrast to how a lot of music is made in the modern era.
Yeah, name names.
With computers.
Name names.
With computers and DAWs and things. And people just have gotten a little too clean, in general, because you can. And listen, we all fall in the trap of it. If you've ever made a record with Pro Tools or whatever, it's so easy to just be like, can you just tune those vocals up? Or just,
Are you saying that are you saying that this record is better than anything to date that Taylor Swift has put out? Is that what you're trying to tell me, sir?
I would never say such a thing.
Okay. I'm just checking. Okay. I liked it though. Wabi Sabi Wiggle. I always thought the wasabi was what I put on my sushi to make it spicy.
You can't say that.
You can't say that.
Quibble Bits.
Quibble Bits. Okay. This is going to kind of go against my thing of saying that this might be a perfect album.
I was going to say.
I'm going to say, but we have to find something. Like, I don't find anything like sonically or with the order of the tunes or like, there's nothing about where I could be like, ugh, I wish the drums were louder. I mean, everything to me, production-wise, vocally, harmonically, in terms of playing the instruments, is fantastic. It could be done differently, but I couldn't be done any better. He's Mr. Know-It-All. And I'm just going to play a little of this for those of you that don't remember this. Like, this is just a song that I find myself sometimes skipping over. So does that make it a Quibble bit? It's not a bad song. I just feel like it's a...
You know what it is with this one?
If everything else is 100, maybe this is a 98.
I agree with you. You know what it is with this, in my opinion?
Tell me.
It is... He's done this vibe better and before this, right? So if we go back to our Talking Book album, again, the last track.
Yeah, this is
I believe when I fall in love, it will be forever.
Well, this goes to the mountaintop.
This is unbelievable.
This goes to the mountaintop.
And, the pianos, and when the groove comes in, it's a similar tempo and groove to He's Mr. Know-It-All. But it's just...
This is a
more effective.
It is. This is more effective. But you know what it is too? Like, every song can't be more effective. Every song doesn't need to go to the mountaintop.
You're right.
So maybe this is not a Quibble bit. It's just, I always feel like if there's something that I'll listen to this whole record. I just did it. And I love where it's placed in here. It's so balanced.
Totally. Yeah. And hey, like, again, the back to He's Mr. Know-It-All. Yeah. For anybody else, killing.
Yeah.
Incredible. And it's really, really great.
Yeah, there's nothing.
But it doesn't quite, I think there's a couple, because I also think, and this is going to be controversial and I might piss people off, but I think this too is not my fave.
Oh. See, I love this song, actually.
It's gorgeous.
I know this is another one people skip over.
It's beautiful. It's... Composition is great. His performance is great. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah.
All is fair in love.
It sounds like it should be on a different album, though, to me.
I don't know, man.
It sounds like it should be on...
Oh. But it's the same song.
Does this work better? Does this song... So this is All in Love is Fair. But this is not Stevie Wonder's version.
See if you can recognize who this is. I know who it is.
Does this work better in this context?
I don't think it works better. I think it works well.
Violin sounded.
French one. This must be...
All is fair in love. Love's a crazy game.
Some Babs right there.
Yeah.
Some Barbra Streisand.
I mean, this is another kind of a really effective cover, I think. I think she had a hit off this, or at least on mine.
It's really good, actually.
Because they don't really change anything on it.
Yeah.
And she doesn't try to sing like Stevie. She's definitely influenced a little bit.
She does her own thing.
She puts her own thing, and it works. So like that was really good choosing. I mean, a lot of Stevie's music, we talk about like almost being jazz standards in a way.
This is definitely one of those kind of things, I think.
But these are hard songs to pull off singing.
Yes.
Because like you can't hide from Stevie's version of it. You know, it's like, what are you going to do with it?
But that's the thing. I think
and I mean, on the second time on the verse, like he goes crazy on this.
It's amazing. I'm not. I have to caveat everything. Everything's great. But
this was a little bit of a slow burn too. The
It's
best
a little
part
slow
is like 3
burn.
minutes in.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
go to the small Quibble
Adam
bit.
hates all of
So this is what I was saying. You can't say anything bad about anything.
No, but I mean, we're trying to be honest here.
Yeah.
And look, when the bar is as high as Stevie sets it, what we're talking about is going from an A+ to maybe an A.
Yeah.
Not even an A-, I wouldn't say. Like for He's Mr. Know-It-All.
Peter, what do you got for the Snobometer?
Man, I want you to go first because I put nothing. I'm totally paralyzed on the
So
Snobometer.
how snobby is this album? Is it one, being it's not very snobby at all, it's very accessible to an average person who doesn't have to be a music geek,
Yeah.
or 10, it's extremely snobby?
So I'm going to say 1.
I'm gonna say 2. I think it's pretty accessible. I think
it's
Higher
fair.
Ground is like incredible.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, there's a reason these things win for Grammy record album of the year. First R&B record. Did we talk about that at the beginning?
No, I don't think so.
First R&B, black, soul record, whatever they were calling it then, to win album of the year, which is crazy.
Incredible.
1973.
It's fairly late for
shout
that
out
shit to happen.
Recording Academy. Oh, sorry, I'm a member.
Well,
You want my card.
You should be the change you want to see in the world, Peter. Yeah, that's
I wasn't
crazy.
a member in 73. I was 2 years old. But I would say 1, but there's a good argument to be made. It's a 10. So I'm actually going to go with 5 because that's the average. The argument is on Talking Book, who are we hearing from that were shouting the praises of this record and saying, you guys are wrong, Talking Book is not Stevie's greatest, or why didn't you cover Innervisions first? Snobs.
Yeah, I know.
Stevie snobs,
That's right.
Music snobs. So that would make it a 10, but I thought, like as you said, it's totally accessible, so the 5 we average.
I thought you said 1.
Well, it's both a 1 and a 10. What's the average of 1 and 10?
Crazy. Every one of
10
the
divided by
Snobometers
2.
is fun. Snobometer's officially broken. Is it better than Kinda Blue? It's better than Miles Davis's classic Kinda Blue.
Okay, I'm going to go first because I think yours is even more controversial.
Okay.
I'm going to say equal.
I mean, you're
No, I haven't said that a
every
lot.
Snobometer is 5 and every KOB is
No,
equal.
that's not true. I've said close before. I've
Okay.
only occasionally.
All right, okay.
The reason is that I don't think it's better than, but it's definitely in that same top tier. Like I think
For sure.
this is S tier.
The S tier for
I
sure. They're both
I think
S tier.
Kinda Blue. Yeah, we're looking at Kinda Blue as S tier, and this. I mean, within S tier, it's fruitless to try to be like who's higher, right?
I think I prefer every Stevie Wonder album in this era to Kinda Blue, if I'm being honest. Yeah.
I think interesting. This one may be the only one that I would put in that S tier.
I think Talking Book is, first of all, I think there are
because
two.
if every Stevie album's S tier, then none of them are.
That's not true.
Okay.
Well,
From this
From
period.
this period, though. There
Yeah.
are, like, I think
Talking Book for sure. And this.
Talking Book, this,
And Songs That Keep
Songs
You
Keep You
Alive,
Alive is S tier, of course, is maybe what is T tier. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so that's good. So you're yes, it's better than KOB, and I'm equal.
What about Accoutrements? How's the cover?
I mean, I'm going 9 because I think it's incredible. Upon looking at it again, I'm like, wow, there's some cool stuff happening. It's
amazing.
But I never loved the cover. Like when I was younger and first had this, there was something that was always a little bit not off-putting, but just it wasn't one where I was like, oh my God, this. I mean, the inside. I apologize, I forgot to bring my copy today, but it's great. But I mean, 9 is supposed to be like 10 is supposed to be only for. So you're saying that there's never been an album cover greater than
Well,
this?
they don't even know what my rating is
Well,
yet.
I'm reading it right here. Tell them.
It's a 10.
So you're saying this is the greatest ever?
I'm saying it's at the top of the heap,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying 9. I'm saying that's still top of the heap.
Okay.
You know, it's like when they do the diving competition.
It's just below, but yeah.
And then everyone's like 10, 10, 10.
Yeah.
But then someone comes and does a better dive, and they get a 10, 10, 10. It's like the 10 like the 10 is supposed to be the greatest. It's supposed to be reserved for literally the greatest ever.
As someone who's quick to call things perfect, you're not going 10. Okay.
That's another thing on this album. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a perfect album. I think it's great.
There's
but
no
it's
such
not.
thing. It's a great album, but there's no such thing as a perfect
There
album.
is. Well, according to you, it's 10. The cover, I mean.
It's not, but it's not perfect. That's, again, we're getting into the mud about the
This is when we lose a lot of listeners and viewers. We're like
everybody's
this
tuned
period.
out at this point.
But stick around. We've got something really fun coming up.
What do you got up next, Peter? What is on your like?
Okay, so on this, as I often like to do, it's fun for me to think about the same year if there's other good things happening. And this is 1973.
Yeah.
This is if our wheelhouse had if my wheelhouse for recorded pop music or just music in general. So these are just a couple. I didn't want to go too far because it's supposed to just be one, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going 1, 2, 3.
Well, it could be as
4,
many as one. It's our show.
5.
We do whatever we want.
Herbie Hancock Headhunters, 1973.
That's a good call.
James Brown, The Payback, one of my favorite, if not my favorite James Brown record.
Can we please, I'm petitioning right now. I'm going to do it publicly.
Just talk to me. We're the only ones who decide this, so.
Can we please have Christian McBride on the show so that we can talk to James Brown?
Shout out Christian McBride.
Mr. McBride, if you're listening, which you definitely aren't.
We have his number.
I know. Okay. Please come on the show and let's talk about James Brown, man.
We're going to drive to New Jersey searching for McBride.
That's great.
Bob Marley and the Wailers, Burnin'. Their first or second record, their great record. Oh, a little record called Quadrophenia. You didn't know I knew about that. I was a little bit of a Who follower.
I was going to say, how did you get into the Who?
I had a friend that was really into them in the 80s, and I used to listen.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Shout out Dave Berger.
Okay, Quadrophenia maybe ended up on the list here.
And then also, and this is a record I was never really into, but I know it was a big record, Dark Side of the Moon. Familiar with that? Little band called Pink Floyd out of the UK. Good day, mate.
I don't want to talk about it. Okay. But that's I gotta say,
all
man,
good stuff because you're in the era. You could be like, these are all very different records, but they're all very human records.
Can I give you a compliment?
Yes.
The Bob Marley, the Who, the Pink Floyd. Very interesting picks for you.
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever had such varied picks for Up Next. It's impressive.
Yeah. That wasn't a great jazz period. I mean, it was, like you said, it was great, but I can't tell you, what was the greatest jazz record of 1973? Was that Headhunters? Is that a jazz record?
Yeah, it was.
That's another.
It was. I have a weird one. So during this whole week where we've been listening to Innervisions to prepare for this, I've also been getting way into LCD Soundsystem, which is like a punk dance act. It's by this one dude. And so, one-man band. It's this guy James Murphy, and he's playing a lot of the instruments on this album. The album is called This Is Happening, and I've been listening to it with Innervisions mixed in.
Wow.
And I've been struck, totally different, by the way. Nothing in common musically, not the same, value system musically, not sonically, a little bit of, there's synths in for the sort of punky dance stuff that's happening. But the wabi-sabi element, the leaving, there's a track on This Is Happening where he's playing these wood blocks through the whole 7-minute track, and he obviously is just doing it in one take. Whereas I think on a dance record you would hear that either looped or sampled or programmed. And this is this dude just playing these wood blocks organically, and it's there's imperfections, and he's a lot like Stevie, changing it up and messing with it and having fun. And
we get back to that in the music.
It's a small detail, and this is from 2010.
Yelling
it's
at the clouds.
It's a small detail, but it makes such a big difference to me as a human being to hear that, and so very inspired by that, and actually listening to these two things together, as much as they don't seem like they fit together, it's been a really fun week.
Nice.
Getting into it. The other one is an album by our friends at the SF Jazz Collective, which is an incredible organization out in San Francisco in the Bay Area of some amazing musicians. They put out an album in 2011 called The Music of Stevie Wonder and I believe Original Compositions live in New York. A lot of
some great arrangements on there.
A lot of incredible arrangements by people like Miguel Zanon, amongst many others. And our friend Warren Wolf, friend of Open Studio, is playing on that album. And worth checking out. Arrangements of Superstition, a bunch of Visions, I think, is on there from this album. So definitely worth a listen.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great call. Well, this is fantastic, man. I'm so glad that we covered this record. I feel like a little bit of pressure's off, but it's a little sad now. What should we cover next? Can folks put that folks are always putting that in the comments, but that would be wonderful if.
Well, we've done Talking Book. We did songs. We could do a re-songs. If we wanted to do re-songs, we could do a re-songs in the Key of Life. We've done it once, but it was before this whole concept of the show was fully baked. So we might try it again.
Okay.
With our categories and everything.
We want to direct folks to our brand new newsletter, which is called, do you know the name of it?
You'll Read It.
You just made that up, didn't you?
No, that's what it's called.
Oh, I know. I was just kidding.
No, Caleb made that up.
Yeah, You'll Read It. So if you go to you'llhearit.com, don't go to you'llreadit.com because we don't know if we own them. We've got so many domains we can't afford to buy anymore. So just go to you'llhearit.com.
That's right.
You can learn all about that. You can leave us a voice memo. I'm just going to leave that out there. Let people figure it out.
A question.
You can go deep dive on different things like that. And you know what I was thinking we could start to do? I'm going to call it Audible here. This will make it worth folks sticking around to the end. Who's here? Hi, Mom. Hi, Mrs. Manis. The two mothers are here for sure.
My mom doesn't listen.
No, she doesn't listen. Could we tease out something that's coming? We're not going to say it's coming next week. It could be next month. We don't. But something that we know we're committed to doing just for folks, a future record, to get a little maybe controversy going.
Sure.
Certain initials, KL, is the name of the artist. and the album is TPAB.
Careful. Everybody knows. They've been put in the comments for months, Peter.
They've been asking for it, but they don't know that we're committed to do it.
Until next time.
You'll hear it.